Okay, so in the last video we were talking about finding elements, and we found all the elements on this page, but all the elements that we wanted, but there's not much we could do besides log to the console a custom success message. And when we try to extract the values returned from the elements, we just got objects. So what we need to do is actually retrieve properties from those objects. And in this video, I just want to talk very quickly about the getText method. So let me show you what I'm talking about. getText. Computer struggling. Awesome. Didn't used to struggle this much, and it's really struggling. Okay, getText. Get the visible, meaning not hidden by CSS, the visible inner text of this element, including sub-elements without any leading or trailing white space. Awesome. That's all it does, really. And it returns the string, but it's a promise that will be resolved with the element's visible text. So let's see what this means. The input obviously has no text that we want to extract, but the button does. So getText all right, and then for the find elements, let's do getText too, even though I know this will not work. Okay, and now let's run this again. Okay, see, getText is not a function that can be run on find elements. I'll show you why in a bit. It's for fairly obvious reasons. But let's just do for the button. What happens now? We spin up the app and nothing happens, because as specified here, it returns a promise that will be resolved with the element's visible text, but we have to resolve it. We have to extract that value using then, because then you can pass the value extracted by getText, you can pass it here. So let's call it text, and now you can do something with it. The text of the button is, and then plus txt. All right, let's do a colon here. Okay, so now we can save and do this again. Let me close this. Now let's run this, clear. And no errors so far. All right, the text of the button is request invitation. Yes, it is. Damn right. Damn Skippy. Cool, so this worked. Now, like I said, for the input, there's no text we can extract. The placeholder text does not count as text. It means the visible actual text. So this worked. But what about this here, find elements? What if I wanted all of the text for the navbar elements here? Then I'm gonna also have to start chaining, and this is the nature of WebdriverJS when you use it with JavaScript, and that's these elements, these basic commands here, they can all be written sequentially. Driver, find element, find the input, driver, get the text, driver, find other elements, and so on and so forth. And actually, just to no, I'll do that in another lesson. But the point is, while these can be run in order, you'll then need to start chaining commands, because when you want to extract a value, you'll have to, because it's JavaScript and it works with promises, you'll have to chain a then command that extracts the text value or the web element or any other property that you might request from WebDriver. Once you do that, then yeah, indeed, you do have to start chaining. So I think if you just do WebDriver, or actually promise manager, here, this is where you'll find everything about promises in WebDriver, and I really suggest you read it all. It'll give you examples of what you can and cannot do, and it explains how the promise manager works, so that even these basic commands here, you might think that you have to chain them in order for them to run in the order you want, just to find element, etc. Because you can append commands to this. You can say find element input, and then you can tell it to write the email that you want, and then once it finds the button, you can tell it to click the button, etc. And you can write these in order because of the promise manager. But then once you want to extract the value, that's when you have to start chaining. So here it explains everything, and I really suggest you guys read through it. It'll explain it in a lot more detail than I can, because I'm not really an expert coder, so I don't know much about how promises work in JavaScript in detail. I just, in WebdriverJS, I can use them. I know how to leverage them, but I would have no idea how to build my own promise manager, for example. Okay, so now for find elements, right? We want to get the text from the nav bar. So elements. So we use a then command, and then we grab the elements objects, right? Which is an array of objects. And then I'm going to map those elements. All right. And when you map the element, then the iterator, I'll just call it L, because it'll be for each individual element in the array. L, let's say L get text. Then they need to chain again in order to extract the text. Console log the text of the navbar element is txt, and that'll give you the text that it extracts from the web element. Oops. Okay. So I think this should work, right? Find elements, the navbar elements, then extract all the array of elements. Why did I say options? I'm used to doing options. I forget why. It's an app I was working on, and what I was extracting were the options. It's elements, because you need to map over this array here. So map over this array, and then for each element you get the text. You call the getText method, then you extract the text, and then you can log it. All right, that's the kind of flow with these things. So now we can save this, and this should all work. Clear. Let me close this. So everything's working, no errors. There you go. Look at that. The text of the button is request invitation, that's the button, but the text of the navbar element is home, libraries, authors, books, about, contact, admin. Cool, very cool. And that's how this all works. That's how you get text in WebDriver. So obviously this is a quick introduction to the topic. Later on, when we get in detail into really testing this app out with a whole in a proper test suite, then we'll see how this is leveraged in a regular test that you might write for a job or something. So I think that's it. What else do I want to do here? That's all we're going to do. The next video is also going to be pretty quick, or probably even quicker, because I'm just going to talk about how to write in this input. We're going to write the email here, and then we're going to click here, and then when the alert success comes, we're going to find it, and then we're going to extract the text from it in order to confirm that it's there, right? Cool. See you in the next video.